serious business.
Power, 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 power. The door opens and Alaska's out there. It's like, yeah, the gates to adventure. And that's why I love watching this door open. To infinity and beyond. I give people the opportunity to fly airplanes in one of the most beautiful places on Earth.
Beautiful, but deadly. In 2011, 4 people died in plane wrecks near pilot Don Lee's base.
I've destroyed 2 airplanes in my flying career, and I've been in several different mishaps with other pilots.
But I'm not one to say I'm not lucky. There's a lot of pilots that are dead. They're good pilots, but they're dead. A lot of lucky pilots that are still alive. I tell you what, I am one of the lucky ones. I should have been killed several times. Been on fire, been shot at, had airplane come apart in the air. I've just about done everything wrong you can do. It's always better to be lucky than to be good. If your last flight was successful, good job, you're a good pilot.
Now Don's teaching a new generation of pilots how to survive Alaska. Today it's student pilot Po Shu in the dangerous art of landing on a glacier.
It's not anything I've done before, not even close. So I'm kind of relying on Don to keep me safe without crashing.
What my objective is to separate your hands from your feet, from your eyes.
Po will handle the controls, but Don's ready to take over at any moment. Their landing spot is an icy glacier in the remote Talkeetna Mountains.
At any time, a student can put you in jeopardy or put you in harm's way. You not only have to have total command of the airplane, but you need total command of that student as well.
Don's a really laid-back guy. He's a great instructor, but he can also get real intense real quick when you're doing something wrong.
It's hazardous. We're 40 miles out there at 7,000 feet on a glacier, and there's no room for any mistakes.
Talking radio 8433 Delta, Christensen Lake with Charlie, flight plan, flight of 2.
And now, Paul, when we start getting into the mountains, you start losing your natural horizon, right? So if you want to fly level without always looking at your altimeter, just pick something out straight ahead of you, like a rock outcropping or a piece of snow or something, right? And then you see the terrain rising, you know you're in descending air. Or the train's starting to go down, you go, oh, you're in great rising air. So you become more a cue of what the train's doing, more so than what these instruments are doing.
Your depth perception gets all messed up up here because things are so big. Things that are miles away looks like it's 10 feet away.
It takes a while to get your depth perception out.
Right.
God, that's so cool. I love that mountain.
Mount McKinley, the highest peak in North America.
It's a very large volume of rock and ice and snow. You can get kind of hypnotized where you get target fixation. You're looking at a rock face or rock ridge, and pretty soon it gets closer and closer and closer and closer, and then all of a sudden it's right there. You know, it's like too close.
Wow, look at that wind come off that north summit. Wow, you can just see it just blowing off of there.
Wind gusts around McKinley reach over 150 miles per hour, making flying this close to 20,000 feet of sheer rock deadly.
I have friends up here that are good pilots, crashed and died, killed people. It's absolutely terrible. There's absolutely no room for any error whatsoever.
When you're driving a car, for instance, and maybe a dog or a squirrel runs out in front of the car, and you swerve and go, that was close, and you have that little adrenaline rush where you're scared. Well, an airplane, you're in there, and for 20 minutes you're going, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. It's just gonna be a flash of rock and you're dead.
It's like flying inside a tiger's mouth. You need to know where your airplane is, your avenue of escape, and what's ahead of you.
To make this landing, Poe must skirt the mountain face, drop into the glacier's bowl, and land on a rising slope covered in more than 10 feet of ice and snow.
So, snug up against this wall over here. Our avenue of escape is around this mountain and down, right?
I do get a little nervous just because I don't fly in these big mountains all the time. Even in Colorado, when I fly into mountains, we try to stay away from these big peaks.
Oh, when you're in this stuff, you need to ignore this great, big, scary stuff. You have to just understand where you're... Okay, you're airplane. I got it. Okay. You just have to understand where you need to be. Your hazard right now is that little mountain. You got it? Yep. So we want to be close to the spacesuit. Yep, and you'll be almost, like I said, 80 degrees. You'll look down and then make your turn to a brick. Oh boy. The big head right here. Crosswind. Yeah, that wind is pushing us way down. Now you'll be touching the ground at like 60 miles an hour. And that's too fast to be landing. Now you'll be touching the ground at like 60 miles an hour. And that's too fast to be landing.
High above the Talkeetna Mountains, instructor Don Lee is trying to get his student to make a dangerous glacier landing in heavy crosswinds.
I can't emphasize enough, flying is a serious business. I've buried 10 friends and I still have friends missing. I'm still looking for people that are missing that I know are missing up here from 20 years ago. It's just so unforgiving.
The conditions are too rough. Don calls it off.
So we're going to go ahead and wait for a better day and no fun. And that really is a lot of it, is knowing when to hold them, fold them, and run.
It was nerve-wracking. Yeah, I swear we were only 20 feet from the big walls of the mountains. I wouldn't fly out there by myself.
Poe's a good pilot, very smart. He actually is a rocket scientist. We just went in a little over his head and shook him up a little bit.
It doesn't feel good, there's a reason. And so it's always the safest way to go.
To rebuild Poe's confidence, Don wants him to try landing on a nearby lake.
A lake landing is flat. There's a lot less variables involved. We're landing on a glacier. The outcome is not always completely predictable.
So let's go ahead and get down low. We're going to look at that lake. A little more power. Okay, right about a little more. It's always... Okay, there you go. Okay, now we'll slow down a little bit. Come back on your power. Okay, so see we're riding along here? Right. Not too bad. Full power. It's hard, but it's smooth enough. Get her down. Comes down, don't it? Yeah.
Ready or not, tomorrow, Don will take Poe back up to the mountains for a second shot at the glacier. In Talkeetna, Don Lee is giving his student pilot one more shot at a glacier landing.
I'm putting him in harm's way, and he's trusting me that harm, in fact, isn't going to come to us.
Oh, looks like the weather's good enough that we'll be going out to glacier again. Hopefully this time we'll get a chance to land on it.
On the glacier, we don't have room for mistakes. It has to be right. It has to be right the first time, it has to be right every time.
Get your prep set, pressure temperature all looks good. You're gonna start aggressively. See how the train's rising? Right. That means we're settling. So go ahead, start out aggressively initially, and then flatten out. There you go. There's your 8. This is good. Cool. Beautiful. Okay, we're just coming into the bowl now, and we're gonna do a flyby and see what it looks like. See the dimpling in the snow there, Paul? That's fairly dangerous because you know there's crevasses under there. Right. Right. Some of those are huge. Oh God, they're hundreds of feet deep. Hundreds of feet deep. So you don't want to be landing down in there. We'll look for the smoothest place we can find. We'll do a couple. Take off a landing.
That snow looks pretty smooth down there.
Looks smooth from here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Safety down to a big bend of the roof, descending mid-glacier through 2,500.
Okay, let's keep the nose down. Come back on our power. Oh, are you fighting it? A little bit. Okay, right about there, that's good. Yeah, this looks pretty good right about here. Power, 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 full power. Full power. See the descending there? Yep.
If you don't touch down on the glacier at the proper speed and angle, the consequences can be absolutely catastrophic.
Okay, now
Ease off your power, ease off, ease off, ease off, ease off your power. Off with the power. Power, 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 power. Abort, 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 abort. What happened was we lost our tail control, and that's why I wanted to continue to swing around.
Right.
You understand? You kind of see what happened there? Okay. Power management is absolutely essential. If we land too fast, we may end up in a crevasse field. If we land with less power, we could land short of our runway and end up on the side of the hill and probably get the airplane stuck. Anytime you don't have 100% control of that airplane, you've got to stop and get control of the airplane. You can never let the airplane control you. There's only two possible outcomes here: a beautiful landing or a catastrophic event.
Don gives Poe one last chance.
Okay, we're just gonna do this nice and easy. You're going good. Keep the wings level. More power, more power, more power, more, 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 more.
That stopped. Ooh, that was fun.
Yeah, you did great.
Landing at the glacier is definitely hard, especially the first time.
Ooh, I'm sweating a little bit too.
Don's probably one of the best instructors I've ever had. He's always a few seconds ahead of you, so if you're going to do something wrong or something stupid, he's there to catch you.
No one's ever landed on some of these glaciers before. There's just a handful of glacier pilots, and very few glacier pilots even now pioneer and do what we do. Sharing my knowledge and experience with someone like Poe is very, very rewarding for me.
This has just been an amazing experience, and I can't wait to come back and do more of this.
What a lifestyle. I have the best job in the world.